afternoon, Douglas County. Welcome to the Douglas County Chamber's Greystone Power Luncheon, sponsored today by Comcast. I'm John Sell with Georgia Power and the chairman of the board for your Douglas County Chamber of Commerce for this year. This will be the last time you'll see me at the podium because this is the last luncheon. I'm sure that's applause that they don't have to listen to me anymore, so that's a good thing. Before we give thanks for today's lunch, I'd like to say a special thank you to our friends at Atlanta's Finest Catering, Ms. Lori Bomar. Now, Mr. Jim McMitchin with Visiting Angels will come forward and lead us in our invocation and pledge.
I know you may not be able to see me, but I am back here. It's not God speaking to you. Here we go. We had a plan, but it didn't work. If you'll please stand with me. Let's give thanks. Father, we pause, give you thanks and recognition for all that we have been blessed with. We thank you for our leaders, not only in our government, but in our schools, in our communities, and in our homes. Father, we ask that you equip us to be able to stand for your word, for the principles that you founded this country on. We ask that not only do we look for opportunities to be servant leaders, but we put our feet where our mouth say we should be. Father, guide and protect this wonderful country, this county and the city and the folks and businesses that are part of it. May we glorify you today with our thought, our word, and our deed. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. At this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize our 2013 Chairman's Club members that joined us today. I'm sure most of you saw them on the slides prior to luncheon, but I want to say thank you and recognize the group. So as a group, Chairman's Club, if you'd stand up. At this time, I'd like Breezy Straighten to come forward and speak about the Chamber Diplomats Angel Tree Program.
I'll make my way up there in just a moment. As soon as I figure out a path.
You've got 5, 4.
All right. Well, welcome this fine afternoon. I hope most of you saw our tree up front. Who saw it? Raise your hands. Everybody saw it? Woo! And some of you have already graciously accepted a child to buy Christmas for, or a family from Share House, like John did. So we have already 56 children from youth villages that we have chosen to support, and we are also supporting the Share House, and we're waiting for the list from Douglas County DFACS. So there are 37 children there. We have cards available. They're still on the tree. Please grab one and see me on the way out so I can get your name. But if you're one of those that maybe don't like to shop, or it's just easier to donate cash, we do accept that. We have nice little donation envelopes that we would love to take a check or a cash donation off your hands, and we'll go be little elves and buy Christmas for these children within our community. This is a program we've done. This will be our 3rd year doing it, and we've had great success. Last year we served over 150 children, and we'd like to make it, serve as many children as we possibly can this year. So should you feel it within your hearts, which I hope that you will, please see me or any other diplomats. We will all rise in a moment, I'm sure. Just look around the room, see us, and we will be glad to assist you and give you a child to care for. Thank you.
Thank you.
And your little sticker. All right, now I got all my stuff.
And since Breezy just mentioned it, diplomats, please rise. Okay, see you around the room. These people will have the angel tree. Any of them will be glad to help you. Since November is the month of thanks, and traditionally this is our thanks to our elected officials luncheon, the Chamber appreciates all of you as our community leaders. I want to say a personal thank you to our elected officials. I'll ask you to stand as I call out your name. Let us all recognize you. And I thank you all for taking time to be here today. We'll start at the federal level. U.S. Senator Saxby Chambliss, I believe Seth Coker is here for him. U.S. Senator Johnny Isaacson, Amy Turner, representing. U.S. Representative David Scott, Ryan Reeses. Okay, House of Representatives, state level. Representative Roger Bruce, Representative LaDon Jones, hold your applause because this is going to take forever if we applaud every one of them. Representative Sharon Beasley Teague, Representative Kim Alexander, Representative Micah Gravely, Representative Dusty Hightower, Senator Mike Dugan, Senator Donzella James. Okay, we'll go to the city. Douglasville Mayor Harvey Persons, Mayor Pro Tem Larry Yockey, City Councilman Dennis McLean, City Councilwoman LaShawn Burr Danley, City Councilman Sam Davis, City Councilman Mark Adams, City Councilman Carl Pope, City Councilman Doug LaQuire, County Commission Chairman Tom Worthen, Commissioner Henry Mitchell III. You thought I was going to forget, I know. Commissioner Kelly Robinson, Commissioner Mike Mulcair, Commissioner Ann Jones-Guider. From the School Board Chair Janet Kelly, Vice Chair Jeff Morris, Member Carol Lidstrom, Member D.T. Jackson, and Member Dr. Sam Haskell. Superior Court Judge Robert James. War Eagle. You can't say much to that, folks. Superior Court Judge David Emerson. Superior Court. Okay. Superior Court Judge Bo McLean. State Court Judge Eddie Barker. State Court Judge Neil Detmering. Solicitor General Matthew Kroll. District Attorney David McDade.
Auburn never knew how to count that.
Clerk of State Court Tammy Howard, one of our newest elected officials. Magistrate Court Judge Susan Camp. Probate Court Judge Hal Hamrick. Municipal Court Judge Keith Rollins. Tax Commissioner Todd Cowan. Sheriff Phil Miller. Magistrate Court Judge Barbara Caldwell. Juvenile Court Judge Peggy Walker. Juvenile Court Judge Michelle Harrison. Thank you all for being here. Did I leave anybody out? Let's give them a big round of applause. And if you're an elected official, one more time, stand up and let's give them one more round of applause. At this time, I'm going to ask Deanna Jones to come forward and tell us about our sponsor, Comcast. And I think we're going to play a little video.
Now this is life. Everyone's connecting in all these ways. Anywhere, anytime, everywhere. Watching, discovering, deciding, buying. Xfinity is everywhere your customers are. On TV and online. And so is Comcast Spotlight, so you can engage them anywhere.
If you could have any client in the world, who would you want? Who would you want?
Did you know that when you see an ad on TV and online, you're 14% more likely to notice it? 50% of us notice TV ads we saw online first. 60% notice online ads we saw on TV. That's the power of TV and online combined. The power of more impressions. Affluent, educated, receptive viewers. More likely to become customers.
ESPN, serving sports fans around the world.
You want to be a rock star now?
I've always been good at music.
I'm the boss. Are you ready for this? Holy cow!
Delicious, awesome, sexy.
Awkward.
We begin tonight with breaking news.
Riley cannot take this news. I am so hormonal.
Hey, Pinkman. Okay, we're ending this segment right here.
On demand, on TV, and now online.
It's just so crazy good.
Holy.
Connect to more customers, your customers, in your neighborhoods. Put your information right into their hands. Get your message out there, anywhere, precisely when and where it can make a difference.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now, the moment we have all been waiting for.
We're at an incredible moment. There's a lot to look forward to.
I need to stop thinking about me and start thinking about me on television.
Just for funsies.
Who talks like that?
Well, I respect your opinion.
There's a vibe at Comcast like I have never seen.
We will define the future of video.
Damn right.
Insane.
It's time to get my groove on.
Oh, yes.
On TV, online,
We've got the best product.
wherever your best customers are. Whenever, wherever, you can engage them best. Comcast Spotlight puts you there. More screens, more impressions. You can have them.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Deanna Jones with Comcast. I'm the Director of Government and Community Affairs for the Atlanta area, and we are excited about being here today as a sponsor of today's luncheon. As you can see, we're doing great things with Comcast. From a product perspective, we've got X1. From a Spotlight perspective, many of you know Alicia, who is great at getting the word out about how you can market your businesses. Right, I think we should all give Alicia a round of applause. And not only is Alicia a great ambassador for Comcast, but more importantly, she's a great ambassador for the Douglas County Chamber, and Kaylee will attest to that. As I was saying about Spotlight does a great job of individual targeting. We sell for more than just Comcast, so when you see just Comcast, don't think that it's only going into the homes of our customers. It'll actually hit UVerse customers, Dish Network. I'm sure Richie is happy to hear me say UVerse in the same sentence with Comcast. But we've got UVerse, DirecTV, Dish Network, and Charter. So when you contact Alicia, she'll be more than happy. And I think that's her name. Ashley is here. She can assist you as well. She's one of the diplomats for the chamber. So as you can tell, we love Douglas County, and we're always here. And I know a few people are still trying to recruit me to come live here. But the last time I was here, we did an X1 demo. We have a couple of people here who can actually share more information with you about it. I mean, I hope you guys were part of the great demand that hit us with X1 and the great capabilities that you can do through that programming. And we've actually we've got a shortage right now because the demand was so high. And so we're ramping up, but I believe by December 1, we'll be ready to go and fill all the orders with that. But I am going to turn it back over to John. I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, elected officials, for all the great work that you do to make this such a great community.
Thank you, Deanna, and thank you, Comcast, for sponsoring this, and thank you for making everybody happy, happy, happy. Okay, at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker today, Mr. Bob Ficasio, President and CEO of his own consulting company, which focuses on sales and sales marketing training. He's a motivational speaker all over the country and has been teaching at Georgia State University's business program since 2001. He retired as president and CEO of TIC Enterprises, a large sales outsourcing company in Atlanta, in 2000. Before TIC, he spent 26 years with AT&T, which I'm sure Rich will be happy about. Finished his career as National Sales Vice President for Small Business Products. In this position, he managed an organization of more than 7,000 sales and service personnel and had a revenue objective of $2 billion annually. Bob is the author of The Managerial Odyssey, a book on sales, management, and motivation. Bob currently consults with AIG Insurance. He lives in Atlanta with his wife of 43 years and has one daughter who is also in sales. And when he's not playing golf, he's enjoying time with his two grandsons. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Ficasio.
So I wrote that pretty well, didn't I? Don't get nervous. There's no more PowerPoint. There's no escaping me. This is my medium of explanation. Because as the students at Georgia State refer to me, Professor Tectard. Because I don't have a, what do you call those phones now that you people have? iPhones. No. Mine still works. I flip it up. And I get everything I want. And when I don't have that, I have this thing called an iPad, which I guess is spelled IPAD. And I use that. What more does a guy 67 years old need? So that's it. There's no more. You guys got the camera okay? Everything's all right? That's it. So be careful as I walk through the audience because you'll never know when I might ask you a question. So be ready at any point in time, because you never want to give the wrong answer. You sure? Oh, okay, I just want to see if you were paying attention. All right? Now, it was mentioned that I worked for AT&T back in the 80s, 90s, and we were a large company. When I joined AT&T in 1971, we had 954,000 employees. Can you imagine that? 954,000. We had job descriptions and titles that you have never heard of. But we had a department that assisted the sales division. They were called industrial psychologists. What does an industrial psychologist do?
They tell you what's wrong with you.
They tell you what's wrong with you. Yes, that's a pretty good answer. They study human behavior and then they tell you you shouldn't do that. So I was looking for an edge on my competition because in 1983 the government did something to my company. What did they do? They broke it up. Thank you. I love you government officials, but those guys back then, God bless them. They took one of the greatest companies in the world and they broke it up. Okay? And so here I go out and I'm going to run my first sales organization. Don't be mad at me when I say this. It was in New Jersey. Jersey. Is that better? Forget about it. Is that all right? Okay? And so I wanted to get an edge on my competition. I wanted to see if I could help my salespeople with some form of industrial psychological behavior. Pretty smart, huh? And so I said to the industrial psychologist, can you tell me or design a way for me to understand the personality traits of my customers before I speak to them? There's a silence in the room. Yes, that was their silence. And they said, Bob, that's an interesting question. Let us study that for 6 months, and we'll get back to you. We studied everything for 6 months. Well, my people were on something called commission. Do you know what that is? Anybody know what a commission is? I don't mean commissioner. Yeah, which means if you don't sell something, you don't get paid. It means you don't eat. So I couldn't wait for the study. We had to go out and do this stuff. 6 months later, Dr. Dick Ritchie comes back and says, Bob, I have the answer. I couldn't remember the question. He said, no, I can tell you, you can know the personality traits of your customers if you'll go to the office 10 minutes early and observe the geometric symbols that they surround themselves with. What you think? Yeah, that's what I said. I had my hands in my pocket too. What are you, nuts? What are you, crazy? And they gave me the 4 symbols and they said, go out and try it. So I gave it to my 50 salespeople and out we went, and in 85% of the cases it was correct. Any math majors in here? Anybody study math? Is 85% a good correlation on a study? Yeah, good correlation on a study. It works so well that I figured if I'm going to do motivational speaking, I should know the personality of the audiences I speak to. Then I could alter my presentation and direct it to you. So I can't go to your home, I can't go to your office, but I can draw for you the 4 geometric symbols that he told us about, and I'm going to ask you to pick the one that best describes your personality. Don't linger on this, it's not a rocket science question. Did anybody ever go to Catholic school? Yay! I knew we'd make it down here. Okay. Do you remember what the nuns told us? They told women, right? There was 2 things. First question that you're asked, if that thought comes into your mind, choose that one. Don't overthink it. And if you're a woman, do not wear patent leather shoes with a skirt. And if you don't know what that means, you can ask Miss. She'll tell you what it means. And if she doesn't remember, I'll tell you what it means. Okay? And so pick your first answer. Are you a square, a circle, a triangle, or are you a star? Which of those 4 are you? 7, 6, 5, 4. Stop. Okay, don't change your mind. Now, I met these 2 people earlier today because they had these shirts that just blew my glasses off. Would you 2 folks be kind enough to stand? You weren't there at the time, so. But would you 2 stand up? No, you don't have to come up. You're going to stand right there. Stand right up. I'm going to ask you to help me in this presentation. Would you do that for me? I just want you to count. If, ma'am, you'll take from these tables over and look that way, and sir, if you'll count these tables and over, as people raise their hand, just give me a count. All right, if you selected a square that best describes your personality, raise your hand if you're a square. How many? 2? 2. What a balanced group. Let me tell you something. You're going to be a little disappointed when I tell you what that means. Okay, if you selected a circle, how many selected a circle? Oh my God, count fast. Wow, that's an amazing. That doesn't surprise me, actually. 20. 25. Wow. Wow. Triangles, raise your hand, can't be many left. How many?
10.
11.
21. Stars? Stop. We just put down all the rest. All the rest. Would you like to know what our industrial psychologist said about you? Yes, this is the interactive part of the meeting where you say, yes. Thank you. Okay, our industrial psychologist said if you're a square, raise your hand, 4 squares. Our industrial psychologists say if you selected the square as a geometric symbol that best describes your personality, you have a high propensity for intelligence and are probably the smartest people in the room.
Absolutely.
It's what the psychologist said. Okay, remember it's only 85% true. So we have 4 intelligent people in the room. Guess I ain't coming back here. Okay, now, you circles. This doesn't surprise me. Raise your hand if you're a circle. Woo! Our industrial psychologists say if you selected the circle as a geometric symbol that best describes your personality, you have a high propensity for leadership and should be running a company or managing people. Raise your hand again, circles. What? No, you people who didn't raise your hand before, do not raise your hand this time. You're all full of stuff. You know you're that bullshit. Now you didn't raise your hand. He raised his hand. I remember him. Triangles, raise your hand. Oh boy, our industrial psychologists say if you selected the triangle as a geometric symbol that best describes your personality, you have a high propensity for aggressiveness and are often a winner at any event that you go to. Stand up, please. This gentleman is so aggressive. If you go to a bar with him, he will pick up the check every single time. How many aggressive people do we have in here? No, keep your hand down. You don't want people to know who you are. Okay, stars, raise your hand. If our industrial psychologists say if you selected the stars, the geometric symbol that best describes your personality, you have a high propensity for sex, booze, and gambling. And are the most fun people in the room. Yeah, let's go. No, I saw a bar downtown. Let's go have some fun. Woo! No wonder you people are having so much fun when I got here. Oh, you've been keeping this a secret, haven't you? The psychologists don't lie. Okay, sometimes I get embarrassed when I do this talk because do you think this study was an actual study? No! Are you crazy? Every time I do this, there's some poor guy in the back. He's taking notes. I want to tell him, don't take notes, don't take notes. It's not a real study. It's just a joke. What motivational speaker have you ever heard doesn't start the presentation off with a joke? It's my joke. But of the 3 keys to success, it also represents number one. We just had some what? Fun. Is it okay to have fun on your job? Yes. Yeah. You spend more than half your waking life on your job. Some of you more. And you're not happy? You don't like it? Are you nuts? If you're not happy doing what you're doing, then go do something else. People pay me money to tell them this. And what's worse, if you're not happy and you're managing people, what do you do to those people? God! You gotta have fun. Okay, I've never worked in an organization or seen an organization that's successful and depressed. And it doesn't work the reverse. You don't get to be successful first and then get happy. You start happy, you feel you're treated with dignity and respect as an employee, and then you give the max to the company you work for. How much does it cost you out of your budget to treat people with respect? Nothing. Then why do we do this? Our employees are our greatest asset. But we're going to cut all training. We're going to cut all benefits. We're going to make the hours longer. We're going to lay people off and have people who are doing an 8-hour job into a 12-hour job. Let's do all that because that way we'll keep them happy. Duh. If you manage people, you understand you have a responsibility for their development. Sometimes people get promoted and forget the part about training their people. They're focused on upward mobility. So everything they do is generated at I said, are you crazy? I'm 67 years old. What do you want from me?
That's awesome. Can you do it a little more? One more time.
Now I work for the photographer. Jeez. Boy, when you're 67, you look for work any way you can get it, I'm telling you. Okay, and so I would tell you, here's the problem. People start managing their careers up, and they start doing things that they think upper management wants to see. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but if that's your entire focus, you got it only half right. Because in my lifetime, I've seen the most successful people in the world get pushed up from the people beneath them because the people beneath them will never let them down. Why? Because they treated them with dignity and respect. Because they built a development program that helped them improve their life. It's not just about you when you get into management. The second key to success, if fun is number one, is to never let people forget how good they are. People continually struggle with obstacles. Well, of course. Are there obstacles in your job today? Of course there are. Are they difficult? Yes. But you know, 2 years ago, did you have obstacles in your job? Did you have obstacles last year? Did you beat them? You know why you beat them? Because you're better than you think you are. And you forget that. Your people forget that. And so whatever you do, don't go out and buy them a book on motivation or tell them to read a book on motivation unless you get them to buy this one. Oh, well. Okay. So success, number one, comes from fun on the job. 2, always reminding your people and never letting them forget they're better than they think they are. And that helps them go home happy, most times. Ready for number 3? Yes. Yes. Okay, where are my stars, man? Okay, who in this room has been to Cincinnati, Ohio? Who cares? First of all, I want to thank my 2 counters, which I should have done a little bit earlier. Here's $5 each. Thank you. Thank you. Because if you stand up and make a fool of yourself, as those 2 people did, the least we should do is pay you. Okay? And so I ask you about Cincinnati, Ohio, because I don't, sometimes the speech is so short, I have to start with one success story, and so I start with this one. So that was the joke for that. Okay. Who's the tallest person in the room? Anybody over 6 foot? You know what? I love this. Stand up again. No, stay there, stay there. Stay there. Who else is over 6 feet? Stay there, stay there. Go. How tall are you? Stand up. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question, both of you. When you were 3 years old, how tall do you think you both were? Watch for the signal. How tall do you think you were? 3. Excellent. Happens. Or it happens. Yeah, when we're 3 years old, we're all about 3 feet tall. And you know that because you go to a playground or anything, you see all the kids are all about the same size. Go to a soccer match, they're all the same size. Well, I was 3 years old once. And I went to the department store with my mother. And we walked down the aisle like this. My hand was up here, her hand was down here. And we're walking in the department store, and my mother says to me, "Look, Bob, none you go nowhere." You better not laugh at my mother. That was really good that you didn't do that. "I got to try on a pair of red shoes. You stay here by this counter. Don't move." "Okay, Mommy, I won't move." "Don't move." "I won't move." Your mother turned her back, and where did you go? Boom! Hey, was that fun? You ran all over the store. Who cared if you got caught? You were having some fun. Because at 3 years old, you were a risk taker, man. Let's grow up a little bit. I'm 7 years old. It should be painfully obvious to you that I am not from Atlanta. I'm from New York, and in New York, we had houses, and the garages were not attached to the home. So the garage was in the backyard, and there was a pathway to the house. And my neighbor had a garage, and he had a pathway to his house. And the distance between the roofs of the two garages is about 7 feet with a 12-foot drop. What do you think I did at 7? Garage hopping. Not only did I garage hop, I announced it. Ladies and gentlemen, in lane 1 for the Olympic Garage Jumping Championships. Whoa! I land on one garage, get up, and what did I do? What? Turn around and what? Again. Back and forth all day long. Sometimes you slid down, so what? I was having what? Fun. I knew rule 1. I knew rule 2. I was better than everybody else in the neighborhood. Nobody else was going to do it. I did it. I fell sometimes. It was okay. Nobody saw me. So it didn't matter. So I'm a risk taker at 7. I get to 12 years old. I'm going on my first date. I'm Italian. What is wrong with you people? You're not paying attention. I take 3 showers. I brush my teeth 5 times. We had a product in the old days called Brill Cream. Brill creamed my hair when I had it. Italians, if you don't know this, are very vain people. We had 8 mirrors in our home. I had to look good in all of them. And at 12, I did. Now, I did all that to make the phone call. I didn't know, was taking no chances here. Wanted to call this girl Sheila McManus. Is she here today? I'm going to do these speeches until I drop, until I find Sheila. And you got on the phone and it went, hi, hello, Sheila. This is, oh, God. And Sheila said, oh, Bob, is that you? How was your game today? Oh, my game was great. And Sheila let me off the hook and was very kind. And she accepted the date to walk to the bowling alley and go bowling. 15 cents a game. Yeah, that'll tell you how old I am. But on the way home, she reached down and held my hand. Oh, risk-taking. Oh, boy, I got a great reward. It was worth the risk. And just so I don't leave you ladies out, I know how it works for you. You know how that boy you knew was going to call you tonight? I know how you know this because I have a daughter. And her best friend talked to his best friend, and he told him to tell her to tell you. He's calling at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock comes. How many times did you let the phone ring? 3. Good for you. There's a girl in the last class said 7. She ain't had a date yet. Ladies, we'll only go so far with this wrist thing. Give us a break. And so you had a good time. And then we grow up, and somehow the risk factor goes away. We stop becoming risk takers. Why? Why? I got to hear it. Fear, yes. But you know, I've heard this fear of failure, and I don't buy that as much as I buy this. You fear the consequences of failure, because if no one punished you, you wouldn't be afraid to fail. You'd step out of the box if you didn't think you were going to get kicked in the teeth. But you're afraid to step out of the box because you're afraid somebody's going to punish you. Gee, I wonder who those people are. If you want to be successful in life and in business, and you want your people to be successful, let them think out of the box. Let them fail once in a while. As long as they can tell you one thing, what is it they should tell you? What did they learn? What a small price to pay. Now, don't let them fail on a $100 million deal. Don't misunderstand. Okay, I'm not stupid. But there's got to be opportunities where people will start to think and be creative. How good would it be? I don't know how many people in your organization. Suppose all of those brains went to work to improve your company. What do you think might happen to your company? Well, don't punish them for thinking then. Who's been to Cincinnati, Ohio? Who cares? What, you think it changed in the last 8 minutes? No, I've been to Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you. Well, I don't care that you care, because I'm almost done, because I'm out of time. I'm going to tell you something about Cincinnati, Ohio. Back in the 90s, it was reputed to have the largest roller coaster in the world. It was called the Beast, and it was on Kings Island in Cincinnati. And the Beast was measured by something they call 47 clicks. What did that mean? Yeah, say it again. You had it. 47 feet. No, close though. Yeah, first one. 47. Okay, that's click, 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 47 times. When it got to click 35, I thought the distance was too far to jump. But I couldn't get off. And the thing went to the top and went over the top. And for 2 seconds, I was 2 people. My brain and body were down here. My stomach was still up here. But this roller coaster went around 10 curves, up 12 more hills, through 4 dark tunnels. None of them had 47 clicks. Because, ladies and gentlemen, once you've done 47 clicks, you have done it all. Examine this in your own mind. Have you done your 47 clicks? I'll bet you have. How many of you are raising children? Put your hand up. Okay, 89 clicks. 89 clicks for that. You understand? You yourself are better than you think you are. You've been at 47 clicks. You've overcome it. There'll be more tunnels and curves, and there'll be more hills. But you have already accomplished 47 clicks. You'll accomplish those as well. God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Bob. That was very inspiring. Fun. Everybody have fun? Yeah? Thanks again. We want to once again thank our sponsor, Comcast. Pick up your information for the diplomats, for the Angel Tree. Thanks again to TJ and One Community Church for the use of this facility. Thanks again to Lori Bomar and Atlanta's Finest Catering for the Thanksgiving feast. To Comcast for sponsoring today's lunch. And as always, to Greystone Power for their naming membership, sponsorship. Thanks for everybody for attending. And I will see you sometime unless they ask me to guest host. But remember, the Chamber does not have a December luncheon. So we wish you all a happy holiday season, and we're dismissed. Thank you.